Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Encourager, and I'm still in Matthew chapter 24 and 24, I should say, and regarding signs of Christ coming. And part 2, I ended with verse 15, and I think I'm going to continue on and perhaps wrap up or just do another part. So this is part 3, and we are looking at the signs of Christ coming. And one of the first sign, I believe, is deception. Okay, so we're here in verse 16. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray you that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, or look, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. They shall show great signs and wonders. They're going to do supposed miracles. They shall deceive the very elect. This is a warning. You've got to be vigilant. You've got to keep your spiritual and your physical eyes open. Behold, I have told you before. This is Jesus speaking. He says, I've told you. Watch, pay attention. Here we are in verse 26. It says, Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, do not believe it. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shines even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now, learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and puts forth leaves, you know the summer is near. So likewise, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knows no man, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. I'm going to stop right there for part 3, and then I'm going to conclude with part 4. So, as you've heard me read, there's going to be great tribulation right after the abomination of desolation, which I believe is the mark of the beast. And we are approaching there. The abomination of desolation is being implemented. Tribulation begins like you've never imagined before. Sometimes when we read of words and we hear of words, though we may know the meaning, it's good practice to really take that word and dissect it. Look up the word tribulation. Look it up. Break it down. So, and after that, the Bible speaks of false Christs and prophets, and they're going to show you wonders. You are going to be deceived. And another word I usually like to use for the word deceive or deception is tricked or trickery. And it's kind of like when you see a magic trick, and because you don't do magic tricks and you don't understand how it's done, you are like, wow. Then you're like, yeah, that really happened. And meanwhile, there's someone working in the background. So there will be false prophets, and there are false prophets. There will be false Christs, and there are false Christs, but it's going to be revealed oh so much more. But I warn you, don't be deceived. They're going to give you signs, and you're going to say, surely this must be the Christ. So deception, as there is deception going on right now, but it's going to explode beyond your imagination. The sun will be darkened. There'll be no moon. The stars will fall. And when Jesus Christ returns, as I've previously read, if someone says, oh, he's in the desert, oh, he's here, or you see, or there's a false Christ, and of course at that time you won't think it's a false Christ, showing signs and wonders like so strong that you're going to believe it is the Christ. Further down you'll read and you'll see, before the genuine Jesus Christ, the real one, comes, you have to look for the sun and the moon and the star event. Okay? And he's going to be sitting on the clouds. And as I've previously read, it says, you know, when the lightning flashes, how you can see it from one end to the other? He will be visible to all. That is the power of the living God. Many times we discredit God. We discredit him with his sovereignty. We discredit his power. We discredit his authority because our simple mind cannot conceive it. But the genuine Christ will be visible to all, because he's going to sit on the clouds. You are going to see him sitting on the clouds. I know there's some things here in the Bible that you take literal, and then there's some things that are figurative. This is a literal thing. This is literal. And again, let him that reads understand. He's going to be sitting on a cloud, and he will be seen by all flesh. This is the distinction with the false Christ. False Christ ain't going to be sitting on cloud. The false Christ will not be seen by all from the sky. They're going to say, he's in the desert, or he's here, and let's go see. He's doing wonders. No, you won't have to rely on that. You are going to see. Do not be deceived. After that, once he's going to collect his elect, his chosen people from the four corners of the earth, his true seed, he's going to collect them. He's going to send his angels to gather from the four corners of the earth, his elect, because they're scattered. Many are not teaching this. They're still scattered. They're scattered. His elect, his chosen. Now, we have the signs. These are signs. Understand the signs. Understand the signs. Verse 37 that I started, it says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man." You jump back to Genesis chapters 1 through 6, and you saw Noah, God speaking to Noah, telling him what he's going to do, and the preparation that Noah had to do. So back then, there was the physical ark. There is no physical ark now. The spiritual ark is under the covering of the Lord Jesus Christ. So as it happened back in the days of Noah, it is the same way it is going to happen in this generation, in this time. It will not be a physical ark, but as it was as things were happening there, and everyone was laughing, I believe, and perhaps not even laughing. Well, they would have been scoffing and laughing, not paying attention to Noah. Noah looked like a fool. He looked like a fool. He was, I can simply believe that he was considered crazy. But he heard and understood what God said, and he believed, and he acted. So, as it was in the days of Noah, and I know there are many good teachers out there, but again, I charge you, it is your responsibility to jump into the instruction manual, and don't allow yourself to be a puppet. The Bible is here. You will have no excuse. You will have no excuse. And though not documented in the Bible here, regarding now in Noah's time, so when Noah did everything that the Lord had instructed him to do, and got into the ark, it says the door was shut. The door was shut. And if you can imagine, and I do believe you imagine, the door was shut, And bear in mind, they've never seen or felt rain before back in those days. So I can only imagine when the rain started that some, and then eventually all, became alarmed and they ran to the ark. And I can only imagine they were trying to get in many ways, either trying to break it down or to just bang on the door to have Noah open it. But Noah didn't shut the door. God shut the door. And what God shuts, no man opens. So who's the fool now? Was it Noah? Or was it those that refused to pay attention simply because they wanted to enjoy the pleasures of this life? The signs are here, guys. Do not procrastinate. Do not procrastinate. The Bible is for our instruction in righteousness. And many are being presumptuous in making decision and alluding that, well, I'm just going to leave it in God's hand. Even though I know this is wrong, I'm going to do it anyway, simply because I believe I have no choice. In making a choice, you have a choice. Whenever someone says, oh, I had no choice, you always have a choice. But you fear the outcome of your choice that you can literally see physically in front of you. That's because you are not trusting the Lord. I encourage you to pick up the instruction manual, the Bible, and go through it. This is the encourager. I'll jump back on with the final part of Matthew chapter 24.